for Channels TV, we've always done what we know how to do best and well, and the accolades cannot but just come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm sure by next year the Ladesima will surely come.
I will talk to Modi. Let me talk to Jimmy. Jimmy, I want to talk about a reference point. I want to talk about the benchmark. I want to talk about how.
It's about being innovative. It's about being visionary. It's about being dynamic. That's what China's has always been. And when you are successful, you must also know that you need to do your utmost best to stay at the top. That's what China has always done, and this is very, very commendable.
Now I will talk to Modi, because Modi, where were you last week? They didn't Akure or somewhere.
Well, I was somewhere in the southwest.
You can't pin it on to a particular state.
Anyway, this is Google search will always tell you where you want to say where you are. Google map, isn't it? We don't post the map around. We also talk about that Modi. Identity will be there. So now, how do you feel this is this ninth time best TV station in Nigeria?
Well, I don't know. You have said it all. Let me just cap it with just this few lines. Like people will tell you, the reward for good work is more work.
That is aptly, that is what it is, because you set a benchmark, you compete against yourself. They said if that is you can see they're ruling, that is a Governor Richard Okorocha announcing. I wish we can hear that. Is it possible? The reward for hard work is to work harder.
Exactly.
More work to come. That's what Nodi said, and I tell you, that has been it. You set a benchmark with what the management has done and said you must surpass yourself, you must compete against yourself. You carry it on channels, and when you say, I hear it on channels, it becomes a reference point. Somebody want to ask you whether it is correct, because you heard it from channels, you are hearing the very right thing, you are hearing the correct thing, you're getting the information at the right time, and then you're getting what you want to do. But in as much as we celebrate here, without you at home, without those of you appreciating what we are doing here, channels will not be what channels is today. And I tell you, today's Nigeria, Africa, and tomorrow, gentlemen, it will be the world.
Exactly, by the special grace of God.
All right, let us now come back to why we are celebrating the season of celebrations. But let us look at the headlines that is actually in world of football, or in the world of sports, before we come back to take it bit by bit and go along with you. Before we left here last week, we were saying, will it be Kano pillars, or will the league extend by 1 week? The league did not extend by 1 week because, yes, Dolphins. Those are the headlines. And I tell you, Kano Pillars are the 2014 Globe Premier League champions. They are champions back to back. In fact, they are doing it the way Channels is doing it. And then National Sport Festival. It was supposed to start in November here, but it has been pushed forward to the April 9th to 19th, to be specific, 2015, because apart from the facilities that are not just ready, they said the athletes were not prepared. I don't know how we take on that. And then we saw the razzmatazz as President Jonathan went down there with two other presidents, the president of Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, to open this Next of champions, that is the Akwa Ibom International Stadium. And while Africa is preparing for Morocco next year for the Nations Cup, Morocco said, no mass, we are not hosting. Please, if you don't want to postpone to 2016, the fear of Ebola, we don't want Ebola in our country, they said that is the way it is. So Morocco has opted out, and then it have to be hosted on CAF to pick a new venue for 2015 Nations Cup. And then right there in Brazil, the penultimate Formula 1 race is Nico Rosberg on pole, just about 0.03% seconds ahead of his teammate Lewis Hamilton. And then during the week also, the matches, that is why the match was postponed. The league would have ended today, that is around the Premier League, but there is an outstanding match, a protest in the match between Giwa FC and Nasarawa. That match, according to OMD, they've now said that match will come up on the 12th of November, so that after then the league will now conclude. Those are our headlines. We shall now take them one by one after the other. So I'm starting with Nodi. Kano Pillars are champions. Are you surprised?
Not surprised. This is a team that started off right from the 10th week up to the end of the league season. They've been top of the table. Enyimba has to keep chasing to the end. At one point, Enyimba has been juggling between 4th, 5th, 6th at one point. Kano Pillars has been consistent among the top 4 right from the very first day. So it means that from the first day of the season, Kano Pillars knew where they wanted. They knew from the first fixtures that the last fixture is going to be in Aba. And the last fixture is going to be one of their greatest rivals. So to avoid that about disappointment which happened in 2009, that was the same thing that happened. They needed to win at home, but they couldn't. But they had to allow the last game in Aba, which Enyimba took the title from. So they're trying to avoid what happened in 2009. So what they did was trying to, as much as possible, avoid the Aba nightmare. That's what they're trying to do. So as much as possible, Enyimba had themselves to blame. They never started. They didn't start up well. Yes. As much as they were doing the catch up towards the end of the season. Okay. But Kano Pillars already established their position. They
lost the league in Aba. Playing at Abia Warriors.
That was the first stanza. And
then the whole of they couldn't beat Rangers, they couldn't beat Atlant in all the derbies, in Eastern derbies.
Yes, that is part of it. But you can't, even Kano Pillars had their own bad parts.
Bad part, yeah.
Even the Sunshine. I think they drew with Sunshine, Atlant, they drew at home to Atlant. So these are some of the games that they could have wrapped up at home, but they couldn't. So, but on the road, they beat Gombe. They were able to pick some result among even some of the big teams because they went to Crown, because we know that's an opportunity to pick a point, but they got what they wanted. So they remained so unbeaten at home. That first is one of these
for several years now.
For close to more than 10 years. More than 10 years. Let me tell you, some of the teams that have broken that jinx.
Yes.
They weren't prepared for that game.
Do they go
the game against Sunshine? The game against Sunshine, yes. Sunshine had an opportunity.
Yes.
Kano Pillars scored in the last kick.
Yep.
Kano Pillars Sunshine had an opportunity of wrapping up that game. We've seen team come away from home, scored in the very first time, hold on to the end of the game. It doesn't mean that because Kano Pillars is almost invisible. It's not invisible. Exactly. It's not. But because some of the teams they were not. No, they were not.
It's a mindset that when you go there, know how Kano Pillars will win. No,
you expect that, but if it's an Enyimba,
yes, that
would lead to that point. Enyimba will be able to sustain that result.
If it was being Warri Wolves.
So these are teams that not even Warri Wolves, but I'm talking of teams who have the staying power,
the pedigree,
to hold on to Kano Pillars onslaught. Because I know Kano Pillars, let me tell you something, one of the teams in the old of the league, from the very first team to the last team, the team that remain consistent, even if you are beating Kano Pillars 100-0, they still play the brand of football as if they are winning. They don't give up. They fight to the
end. They are a good side.
They are a good side.
I mean,
remember last season, they gave them Lokoja. They needed that result, but they fought to the last minute and they got to what they needed, and that was the game that sealed the title for them.
But so that question, continentally, what happens?
But before you talk about continental, I'm staying with you.
Okay.
Because I asked him whether anybody lost they lost the league in Aba. Okay. Kano Pillars didn't win the league in Kano, playing El Kanemi home in their own in Kano.
They did themselves very, very well, playing well at home. Just like he was saying, you look at what Enyimba had been doing. Enyimba had not been firing from all cylinders, playing away from home. But Kano Pillars had done themselves a whole lot of good, making sure they racked points where it mattered most. and playing against El Kanemi, you expect that they get the necessary points. That's exactly what they've done. But what I'm looking at is, you look at last year, you look at 2 seasons ago, they won controversially. If you consider the way it went, it was more like they were winning on board points. Last season, 2 seasons ago, but right now, there's nobody that can doubt the way they've won.
They are world champions.
It is not a fluke. And you ask yourself, what happens when they go out?
We talk about that. We are celebrating that. We are celebrating Jimmy.
To the point, you were leaning emphasis on one particular game.
Yes.
El Kanemi, Kano Pillars. Don't forget the fact that El Kanemi were playing their own match in the. That game to have gone to Kaduna. But you see, there is this popular saying: opportunity comes, but it's only those who are prepared that will grab the opportunity. Kano Pillars saw an opportunity and they feasted well on it. They got the opportunity, defeating playing an away game in their own stadium and taking the maximum 3 points.
They also beat Ekanemi. Ekanemi was still playing away. They beat Ekanemi in their own.
No doubt about that. But considering the time of the league, it was very, very crucial. It was very, very crucial. Like I said last week, everybody was expecting that the league will stretch forth to this week, but unfortunately, Eyimba left it too late. And the Kano Pillars, like Jimmy said, are world champions.
You must praise the resolution of Dolphins also point from that game.
Also, one of the reasons why the league actually has to be pushed away today, during the week, we heard from Warri Wolves saying the league has not ended because there is an outstanding match that is before the O&D to decide, the disciplinary committee, the appeals to decide the match between Giwa FC and Nasarawa. That match was stalemated and then points were awarded and whatever. So appeals was made, and they said until that is cleared up, we'll try and see if we can get hear from the chairman of Warri Wolves, Chief Davison Owume, maybe in a few minutes from now, so that he will also give us his account. But as we speak now, the appeals committee has ordered that match to be replayed November 12th. Jimmy, can you fill up us on that?
Yes, an LMC will be defraying the cost of that match to the tune of 1.2 million. They said the reasons Giwa FC actually gave are acceptable to them. It has got to do with the continental slot. So I think it's a good decision. I would love to see the match played between those two teams, and Giwa Nasarawa going for that particular. No, you are not here. Because I mean,
let us read part of what the decision that they took. They say following decisions were taken at the meeting of the NFF disciplinary committee held between 7th and 8th November at the headquarters of the Nigerian Football Federation. Is they haven't considered the circumstances surrounding the matter and both verbal and documentary submissions of all parties. The committee, being guided by Section B, Article 1325 of the Framework for the Premier League 2010-2014 football season, hereby ratifies the earlier decision taken by the League Management Committee, LMC, which finds Giwa FC's reasons acceptable. Hence, match date 35 game is now rescheduled to be played at the FIFA Technical Center on Wednesday, 12th November 2014 at 4 p.m. Is that okay? It's the LMC should defray the cost of Nasarawa FC for the rescheduled match to the tune of 1.2 million.
I really think that's fair. It's open, and everybody knows that. Okay, this match will be this match. Everybody's going to see this game, and it's not a boardroom point being awarded. Okay, it's fair enough. Let both of them come and slug it out, and let's see who comes out of, because it's about a continental slot, and for everything, being on the continent means a whole lot.
Let me say this. It's a strong point. That decision is very. I think it's fair.
It's fair.
It's fair on one part. Let me just say it's fair, because this is, we never had any walkover. Okay. Even the Nembe City Giwa game, when Nembe had the complaint, even though I don't know whether that complaint was within the time frame set out. Complaint set out, but the game against Giwa, after the game was awarded to Giwa, that was walkover for Maltese, but the one they said that game has to be replayed. So that's it. For this season, we never had any walkover. So this is not the last time. And at this time, you can't have a walkover because things have happened before. Yeah. When you have a walkover, but that decision was overturned. So the game was played. So the fact is that I know Nasara's argument. Nasara's argument is that why do you allow us to go to Abuja? But they say, okay, that cost will be different by the LMC. Well, I don't know if that's the cost, but I think there is more to that than the cost. Because the argument is, why didn't Giwa go for the game? They said that was a court case. They were reacting to a court case. Now the court case happened on the Thursday. Giwa played against Kano United on the Sunday. Okay. But this game was moved because Giwa, the suspension of Giwa, the decision of Giwa and D came so soon. Okay. Giwa could not have moved to Abuja because this game was supposed to be one of the games of all other teams that played their game. It's not a game. It was fixed for the Wednesday which the decision was taken. Giwa said no, the game has to be moved by 1 week so that you allow for Giwa to prepare for live in Abuja. Okay. But he didn't go. But they said that was a court case. That was why they didn't go for this game.
There are no artists to the case.
I don't know. That was anyway, that's the argument. Now the argument is if there is a court case with a claim that was the reason they didn't go for the game, even though LMC gave it 24 hours, but they played against Kano United on the Sunday. I don't know whether that itself is within that thing, but I think this thing would have been there's a breakdown of communication somewhere. Okay. If you are telling Giwa to go for a game, because that's our argument is that they were not told that game has to be replayed. Okay. Now the game has gone just is O and D. Yeah. The fact is that if that game is not held on Wednesday 12, the league will not end this weekend. Okay. Because then it means that Nasara has to go for an appeal. Yeah. That's why has to go for an appeal. But the appeal has just one thing to do. On Monday, first in the morning, at 8 o'clock, they wake up and take a decision. If that game is going to be replayed, yes. Nasara knows that they have 48 hours before that game. Between Lafia and Abuja, it's just 1 hour 30 minutes. Or let's assume 2 hours at most. Between Jos and Abuja is 1 hour 30 minutes. So that's 30 minutes difference. That's what they are just the distance. You don't have any excuse. I'm not saying we cannot go for the game because it's just.
That's how it was carved out of split.
You don't have to go for the game.
Okay.